Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Raleigh where a Goldsboro man has been arrested for a shooting that happened in Goldsboro. There, the man you're seeing on your screen, Shad Harper, has been charged. He was arrested yesterday by Raleigh police and charged with attempted first-degree murder, possession of a firearm by a felon, and discharging a firearm into occupied property. Now, Goldsboro police say 29-year-old Deshaun Webb was shot several times on October 11th in the area of 600 Sherrard Court. The victim was eventually moved to ECU Health Medical Center in critical condition, according to police. Now, the 20-year-old Harper is being held at the Wake County Jail without bond. And now we want to turn our attention to travel troubles. Again, the government shutdown is expected to be voted on by the House later on tonight at around 5 o'clock. Until then, the government still remains shut down, and that is having a big impact on airports and airlines across the country. NBC's Tom Costello has more.
With air travel still strained ahead of the holidays, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is warning even more trouble may be on the way if the government does not reopen.
You might have airlines that say, we're going to ground our planes. We're not going to fly anymore. That's how serious this is.
It comes as United Airlines announced it has already canceled nearly 300 flights today alone. And a total of 8%, roughly 1,600 trips, could be scrapped at the nation's busiest hubs, including New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Denver, Phoenix, Dallas, and L.A. All, as Duffy says, aviation risk levels have risen during the shutdown.
We have to make decisions to keep people safe.
The long lines, delays, and cancellations caused in large part by labor shortages. While staffing at air traffic control improved on Tuesday, they and TSA officers have now gone more than a month without pay. Travelers left in limbo as frustration goes sky high.
Y'all, I've been stuck in Washington, D.C. for like 8 to 9 hours right now.
I don't trust any airports. I don't trust any of this stuff anymore. I have totally lost faith.
Even some flight attendants are encouraging alternative travel plans.
All I'm saying is, from a flight attendant, don't fly. Don't fly. If you can take a train, take a car, do that. Don't fly.
Still, with 31 million Americans expected to fly over Thanksgiving, the race is on to get everyone back on track.
How quickly do you anticipate normal operations?
It's going to be really dependent on working with the FAA to ensure that we maintain the safety of the system. You know, with Thanksgiving just around the corner, it is just going to be super important that we're there, able to deliver to our customers.
And again, that was Tom Costello reporting. We now turn to your weather forecasts, and right now across the southeastern United States, we've got nothing but sunshine. So no weather delays at the airport. Again, all air traffic controller and really government shutdown related delays. Right now it's looking clear across the Carolinas. We will see maybe a little bit of cloud cover try to pass by coming up for tomorrow. But as far as true clouds and like cloudy days, we don't have one of those coming up for the rest of this week. We are looking again at mostly sunny skies from here on out. Here's what it looks like in Morehead City. 55 degrees, westerly breeze at 13 miles an hour. You can see again that westerly breeze really kind of pushing some water down the intercoastal waterway. Right now we're looking at more of a southwesterly wind over the tail end of the day. That should help warm us up into the low 60s later on this afternoon. Right now we're getting close in Greenville. 57-degree air temperatures, dew point down at 30 degrees. The air is certainly dry, but winds blowing in at about 13 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. Most of our air temperatures right now reading in the mid to upper 50s, generally between around 55 up to about 58 degrees. Hatteras, I do see you at 53. You guys are kind of the cool spot on the map right now, but hopefully a southwesterly wind will help warm everybody up over the next few hours. Those winds are coming in at about 7 to 15 miles per hour sustained. Gusts a little bit higher than that, but over the next 24 hours, while winds will relax a little bit overnight tonight, they're not going to be going calm. In fact, we'll continue to see those breezy conditions carry over through the rest of today. Those winds are bringing about more humidity into eastern North Carolina. Humidity change, really our dew point change, has been pretty significant, about 10 to 15 degree rise in dew points over the past 24 hours, but that still puts us in a very dry air mass. We again are looking at an air mass with very little moisture. If you find yourself licking your lips a little bit more today than what you did this past weekend, well, the humidity is a big reason why. But we are going to be tracking again more humidity rolling into the east as we head into this weekend. You can see that bubbling effect of that moisture coming out of the Gulf, moving over Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, even extending all the way up towards the Great Lakes. That big bunch of more humid air will make its way through eastern North Carolina over the weekend. It will also result in a higher overnight low, but more so just higher daytime highs. 65 degrees on Friday turns to 72 on Saturday, 77 on Sunday. And with that increase in humidity, we're also going to be getting an increase in heat. So hopefully, if you're not a fan of the cooler weather, just be patient. We will be seeing a return to the 70s this coming weekend. And then next week, we finally get another chance of rain in the forecast. Right now, not looking like a great chance, but it's really the only thing we can really hang our hat on at this point, because it is very much the dry season here in eastern North Carolina, and rainfall is hard to come by in November. Well, that's all we have time for today's noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.